What up, guys? Gangstapranksta here, bringing you the weekly wrestling review for April 14th. Welcome to the show. If you're new to the show, this is where we talk everything about professional wrestling, from news, reviews to predictions. We talk about it all. So welcome to the show if you're a fan of professional wrestling. On today's show, we're going to be reviewing Raw, Smackdown, Impact, Ring of Honor, and give my predictions for TNA Lockdown, and a lot of wrestling news to talk about. So let's start this off right away. First, we got Raw. Raw was a pretty good show. Let's go through it real quick. It starts with John Laurinaitis comes out and brings out Brock Lesnar. Lesnar comes out and thanks Laurinaitis for bringing him back. John Cena comes out and slaps Lesnar in the face. Lesnar retaliates by taking him down and punching him. He actually busted Cena wide open. It made this a lot better. And after that, every wrestler in the back comes out and tries to keep them separate, but they manage to escape a few times, but ultimately it gets broken up. In my opinion, this was really good to start the show. It built a lot of excitement and a lot of interest for their feud, and I like it when they have wrestlers break up the brawls, because it adds more like realism. Like, these guys really hate each other. The refs can't do anything. Nobody else can do anything. Security guards, the wrestlers have to do it. I really like that, and the fact that Cena got busted open only helped. So I thought this was a really good way to start the show, and so high five for WWE. Next, we got Brodus, Clay, and Santino Marella versus Jack Swagger and Dolph Ziggler. Pretty good match. Brodus and Santino win. Next, we got R-Truth versus Cody Rhodes. Okay match. Truth wins. Next, we got Lord Tenzai versus Yoshitatsu. Okay match. Tenzai wins. Next, we got CM Punk comes out and talks about being straight edge and what Jericho did to him last week. Punk starts talking about his dad, but Jericho interrupts him. Jericho says Punk is a drunk, and it was only a matter of time. Punk says he's going to use everything Jericho said as motivation to kick his ass at Extreme Rules. Mark Henry comes out for a match, so it's Mark Henry versus CM Punk WWE title match. Okay match. Henry wins by DQ after Punk hits Henry with the monitor. After the match, Henry attacks Punk, and Jericho comes out and dumps beer all over Punk. Next, we got Zack Ryder versus Alberto Del Rio. Okay match. Del Rio wins. Next, we get probably the worst part of the show, but it was actually... we'll talk about it. So, we had the Three Stooges come out, and one of them comes out as Hulk Hogan. He actually did a pretty good impression of Hogan. I don't know if the crowd was booing because this sucked, or they actually thought that it was Hulk Hogan, and then they were disappointed. But Kane comes out, and two of the Stooges leave, while the one dressed as Hulk Hogan gets chokeslammed. Thank God for Kane, putting us out of our misery, but this was still pretty brutal. Oh, the backstage segments were not good. These guys are not funny. They're not funny. I bet you the movie's a piece of shit. But anyways, last but not least, we have David Otunga versus John Cena. Pretty good match. Cena wins. After the match, Lesnar hits Cena with the low blow and an F5. So Raw was pretty good. The matches weren't that memorable, but the segments were. The CM Punk Jericho one, and the opening one, the Brawl. I really enjoyed those. So next we got TNA Impact. Starts out with Eric Bischoff comes to the ring and introduces his team for Lockdown. Bully Ray, Gunnar, Kazarian, and Christopher Daniels. That's his team. They come out, and Bully Ray talks a bunch of trash about Garrett Bischoff. Garrett comes out and says his team is ready for action, so we got Gunnar versus Mr. Anderson. Pretty good match. Gunnar wins by DQ. Next, we got the Motor City Machine Guns come out and say they're going to challenge for the tag titles at Lockdown. Joe and Magnus come out and say the Machine Guns are good, but they're better. Magnus challenges them to a match. But before the match gets started, Mexican America comes out and says they want in on this. But so it starts a brawl, but they get taken out. Like, Joe and Magnus take out Hernandez, and the Machine Guns take out Anarchia. Next, we got Austin Aries versus Christopher Daniels. Pretty good match. Aries wins. Next we got Jeff Hardy comes out and says he's gonna hurt Angle at Lockdown, and then he leaves. Next is the Eric Young ODB wedding in a cage. I already did my deep sigh. Whatever. They're doing their thing, whatever. And Sarita and Rosita come out, and this is where it gets bad. So Sarita and Rosita come out and tell Eric to leave ODB and go with them. Eric decides to stay with ODB. They strip to their underwear and get married. I could have gone without this. I could have gone with maybe let Austin Aries and Christopher Daniels, let them have a longer match, So, no, I wasn't too excited for this. Next we got Bully Ray versus AJ Styles. Good match. Bully wins. After the match, Hulk Hogan comes out and says at Lockdown it'll be a 5-on-5. The fifth member for Eric Bischoff's team is going to be himself. And the fifth member for Garrett's team is RVD. So Rob Van Dam coming back, making his return to TNA. Next we got Gail Kim and Madison Rayne versus Velvet Sky and Mickie James. Pretty good match. Mickie and Velvet win. And last but not least, we have James Storm and Robert Roode come out for a confrontation. It was pretty good. They talked about their history together, and it ended with them getting really personal. Robert Roode talking about James Storm's dad that passed away and stuff. So, it was pretty interesting. I'm kind of looking more forward to their match at Lockdown now. It's pretty interesting. Next, we got Smackdown. And to put it very shortly and blunt, Smackdown was bad. It was bad. So it starts out with this was the Blast from the Past Smackdown. It starts out with Mean Gene Okerlund in the ring, and he brings out Sheamus. Sheamus comes out and talks about kicking the ref last week and apologizes. Laurinaitis comes out and tells Sheamus to apologize again. He does it. And then Laurinaitis issues a fine and says if Sheamus does it again, he's fired. And Laurinaitis makes Del Rio and Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus and Mean Gene for the main event. Next, we got Randy Orton versus Mark Henry. It was going pretty good until Kane appeared on the Titantron. The match just ended. And then Kane shows Orton that he beat his dad up, Cowboy Bob Orton. Orton runs to the back, finds his dad on the floor, but Kane takes out Orton as well. Next, we got Ryback versus Benny Kamer. Blah match. Ryback wins. Next, we got Heath Slater and Tyson Kidd with Jimmy Hart versus the Usos. Pretty good match. The Usos win. After the match, Mick Foley shoves Mr. Sacco down Jimmy Hart's throat. The past few weeks, I've been enjoying Heath Slater. I'd like to see him become a main focus on SmackDown. I think he could be a good heel. I think he's pretty entertaining. I'm starting to like him a lot more. He's growing on me. Next, we got Roddy Piper comes out to host Piper's Pit. Piper brings out Daniel Bryan. Bryan comes out and talks about he's going to get a rematch against Sheamus, and he's going to win this time because AJ won't distract him. Piper brings out AJ. AJ comes out and tells Daniel he's sorry. She's sorry. Piper says Daniel is using her. Daniel says if she really meant what she said, she would leave. She leaves. Then Piper goes, he just rips Daniel Bryan a new asshole and says he hopes Sheamus wins at Extreme Rules. Daniel finally has enough listening to that and slaps Piper in the face. Next, we got Drew McIntyre and the Bellas versus Great Khali, Natalya, and Alicia Fox. Blah match. Khali, Natalya, and Alicia win. Hunico versus Jim Duggan. Another blah match. Hunico wins by DQ. A lot of very bad matches on this show. Next, we got Cody Rhodes comes out and starts talking about how this show is a waste of time. His dad comes out, Dusty Rhodes, baby, and starts talking about Cody. And Cody's like, yo, Dad, you're embarrassing me, whatever. Big Show comes out and shows another embarrassing video of Cody. That's it. And last but not least, we have Sheamus and Mean Gene versus Alberto Del Rio and Daniel Bryan. Pretty good match. Mean Gene and Sheamus win. After the match, all the legends come out and beat up Ricardo Rodriguez and Michael Cole. This was not a very good show. The only thing that I liked was I liked the Heath Slater Tyson Kidd versus the Usos. I wish that would have went a little bit longer. And the Piper's Pit was pretty good. It was pretty good. Other than that, it was shit. Do not recommend this show. Next, we got ROH. First, we got the Young Bucks versus TJ Perkins and Shiloh Jones. Pretty good match. The Young Bucks win. Next, we got Mike Mondo versus Matt Taven. Pretty good match. This was actually pretty good. It kind of turned into like a street fight at one point. They were brawling all over the place. But they finally brought into the ring and had a pretty good match. So Mondo wins that. And last but not least, we have a 4-way elimination match. Mike Bennett versus Adam Cole versus Jay Lethal versus Tommaso Ciampa. Good match. Ciampa wins. This was a good ROH. And if you don't know how to watch Ring of Honor, what you want to do is you want to go to ROHWrestling.com, make a free account, and they upload the show every Thursday. So make sure you go watch it because it's a really entertaining show. It's 50 minutes, and most of it's pure wrestling. Not a lot of the backstage segments, bullshit. A lot of wrestling. Next is my predictions for Lockdown. TNA Lockdown. This is the all-steel cage pay-per-view. It actually looks pretty decent. So let's just go through real quick. First, we got Crimson and Matt Morgan. Wait, one thing I want to say. TNA, in my opinion, did not do a good job of building up 2 matches on this, and I'll talk about that in a second. The first one is Crimson and Matt Morgan. They didn't have anything on the go-home show to Lockdown, the final impact before the pay-per-view. To be honest, I don't really care about this. I'm going to go with Crimson, and that's about it. Next, the other match they didn't promote at all, Robbie E versus Devon for the TV title. Don't care about this match either. Hopefully Robbie E wins it because he's more entertaining with it than Devon is. Devon hasn't even made an appearance. Okay, he was a surprise opponent at, I think, Victory Road. Yeah, that was last pay-per-view. Won the title. I don't even think he appeared on Impact for the whole month leading up to Lockdown, and he's just gonna build up the fucking matches. God damn it. Anyways, don't care about that match either, but I'm gonna go with Robbie E. Next, we got Gail Kim versus Velvet Sky for the Knockouts title. It's about time Velvet got her rematch. God damn, she hasn't got a rematch since Bound for Glory. It was like 5 months ago. But whatever, better late than never, I guess. Anyways, I hope Velvet wins. Gail Kim, she's just kind of stagnant at the moment, in my opinion. So I'm gonna have to go with Velvet. Next, we got Magnus and Samoa Joe versus the Motor City Machine Guns TNA Tag Team Title match. This could be a really good match. I'm gonna have to go with Joe and Magnus. I like the Machine Guns. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think they should win the titles right away. Let them chase Joe and Magnus. Maybe it's Slammiversary in a 3-way. Machine Guns versus Joe and Magnus versus Mexican America. And, because TNA doesn't have a lot of tag teams. So let's build this up a little bit before we just give the Machine Guns the titles back. Next, we got Kurt Angle versus Jeff Hardy. Probably going to be a really good match. I'm going to go with Jeff Hardy on this one. Probably going to be a fucking crazy swanton bomb off the top rope. Next, we got Team Eric Bischoff, which is Bully Ray, Gunnar Kazarian, Christopher Daniels, and Eric Bischoff versus Team Garrett Bischoff, which consists of AJ Styles, RVD, Mr. Anderson, Austin Aries, and Garrett Bischoff in a lethal lockdown match. It's probably going to be really good. I'm going to go with, of course, Team Garrett Bischoff, and there's a stipulation, like if Eric wins, Garrett has to retire, and if Garrett wins, Eric has to leave TNA and he can't use the Bischoff name anymore. AJ Styles is probably going to do a crazy thing on Kazarian, probably on the top of the cage or something. There's going to be a crazy spot. They have one every year with this match, so I'm going to go with Team Garrett. Last but not least, we have Bobby Roode versus James Storm TNA World Title match. I'm going to go... I'd like to see Robert Roode retain the title, but I think James Storm's going to win. They've just been promoting and pushing him. He's got his music video, the country music thing he's doing. So they're kind of like putting him up there. So I would be surprised if he doesn't win. But I'd like to see Bobby Roode continue. Maybe have a rematch next month or something. I don't know. Because who does he have left? I can see it going this way. He's going to beat Storm at Lockdown, face Jeff Hardy at Sacrifice, and then probably face Sting at Slammiversary. I see that's probably how it's going to go. Probably, but I don't know what it's going to be like if James Storm wins. But yeah, that's my predictions for TNA Lockdown. It seems kind of interesting. There's a couple matches that I don't care about. Made that clear. But all in all, it seems like it might be a good show. But the only thing I'm worried about is the main event, Robert Roode versus James Storm. Usually, they're probably going to have a great match, right? The ending's probably going to suck dick. Just like all TNA main events, always have a good match, and the ending is always horrible. So I expect a horrible ending from the Bobby Roode James Storm match. Hopefully it's not a bad ending, but that's usually how TNA pay-per-views work. The ending for the main event is horrible. They can't end a pay-per-view good. That's just a fucking fact. So that's it for my predictions. We got wrestling news, so if you thought the show was done, it's not. So first off, it looks like Ring of Honor won't be using Go Fight Live for their iPay-per-views anymore. On Twitter, a fan asked Kevin Kelly about their upcoming iPay-per-view Border Wars, and he said it will be an iPay-per-view, but it won't be on Go Fight Live, though, thank God. No website was confirmed for the next iPay-per-view, but it's probably going to be WNW.com, World Wrestling Network, which does exactly what Go Fight Live does, but they only do wrestling. They do Evolve, Dragon Gate USA, and a couple other indie events. So Ring of Honor is probably going to go air their pay-per-view, their iPay-per-views there, but it's not confirmed. When it is confirmed, I will talk about it. But yeah, so they've been having a couple issues with Go Fight Live, especially when the Showdown in the Sun show got super fucked up and people missed like 3 matches. So yeah, you want to go with a company that can that won't fuck up your shows. So that's good news, I guess. Good news for Maven. We talked about him last week. He was arrested for doctor shopping and scoring over 1,000 pills. He'll be taking WWE up on their offer for rehab. Good news for Maven. WWE stepping in to help him out, and he's accepting it. So that's good. Next, we got, according to F4WOnline.com, it is expected that Undertaker has several more WrestleMania matches left in him. Many noted how good The Undertaker looked at WrestleMania 28. Given his age and health problems, as of now it is expected he will have his next match at WrestleMania 29, and that he will be able to work that schedule of a WrestleMania match a year for several more years if he wants to. In my opinion, I think he should just retire. I mean, you're not going to top what happened last year. What happened at the last WrestleMania, WrestleMania 28. It was perfect. You had Shawn Michaels, you had Undertaker, end of an era. I thought it worked perfectly. If he's going to have more matches, he's going to have to go 25-0. You can't retire on like 23-0. Like, that's just a stupid fucking number. You got to make it 20-0 or 25-0. So pick, motherfucker. But anyways, Undertaker is not the only one that's not retiring. Triple H still has some more wrestling matches left in him. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Triple H is making his executive position top priority, but is planning on wrestling from time to time when the right feud and storyline comes along each year. It is expected Triple H will have this schedule for the next year until WrestleMania 29, and then reevaluate the situation of how much more time he wants to spend in the ring versus devoting all his time behind the scenes. I didn't expect for Triple H to retire after this WrestleMania. I definitely think he has a lot more wrestling in him. Probably going to be Shawn Michaels versus Triple H next year. That's just my prediction. So yeah, I didn't expect him to retire, but I guess it's confirmed now. And last but not least, Scott Hall has been arrested again. TMZ reports that Hall's girlfriend, Lisa Howell, called the police on Friday saying that Hall has been drinking for days and tried choking her when she got into her car. The police noted that they saw red marks around Howell's neck, and Hall appeared heavily intoxicated. I'm going to be honest. Whenever I see an article with Scott Hall's name, I'm like, holy shit, he finally died. That's just me. I know it's fucked up to hear, but that's just like, you always hear, he got super drunk, there's something wrong with him, he has an addiction to pills, and it just sucks. Like, this is just more fucking bad publicity he does not need. Like, if he's fucking attacking his girlfriend, like, I don't even know what to say. Fuck. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say anymore about Scott Hall. I think Kevin Nash put it best. Someone asked him on Twitter or he heard the reports or whatever, and he said the only person that can help Scott Hall at this point is Scott Hall. And that couldn't be more truth. He's been to rehab how many times, and the dude's still the same. So that sucks. I don't. If you're a new subscriber or something, there was actually a documentary done on Scott Hall. I think it was really good. I'm gonna try and find it and link it in the description. So go check it out. And it's basically Scott Hall, and he talks about his demons and stuff. So hopefully I can find that and link it in the description, because it was really good, and it explores Scott Hall. Scott Hall's like his demons and his alcoholism and his drug abuse. And you even have Stephanie McMahon do an interview, and she's like, we've spent over $1 million on rehab on him. That's fucking crazy. That's crazy. So go watch that documentary, but it just sucks to see that Scott Hall is still getting into trouble and stuff. So I hope for the best, but I don't know. I don't know at this point. So that's it for the weekly wrestling review. I want to thank you for watching. Come back next week where we have reviews for TNA Lockdown, RAW, SmackDown, Impact, Ring of Honor, predictions for Extreme Rules. I think that's next week, and some more wrestling news. So I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the show, please give it a thumbs up. And that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace out.